has always known how to take over a room. Today it's a city, it's a region. New England and the country will watch to see if the Fighting Irish can get back on track at Boston College. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by PlayStation Vue, nicknamed the Holy War Game. It's 75 degrees, partly cloudy skies, Alumni Stadium, Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, sold out for old friends, Notre Dame and Boston College. And with that, we say hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Leahy along with Brian Greasy. We'll hear from Todd McShay from the field very shortly. We always hear about these measuring stick games. This isn't one of them for Notre Dame, but a week ago against a very good Georgia team, they came up just shy. It looks like the Irish is close to where they want to be.
Well, so much talk in the offseason about the wholesale changes for Notre Dame and Brian Kelly, but make no mistake, last week was a body blow. They ran into an excellent football team in Georgia. They got beat on the lines of scrimmage, Steve. They made some plays in the passing game. Georgia did a great play by this receiver here. But at the end of the game, Mike McGlinchey, you wouldn't think that the game would come down to their All-American, certain first-round draft pick and left tackle giving up the final play, but it happened. And now they have to get this taste out of their mouth against the Boston College team on the road.
Another close loss. Yeah. That's been a big issue for Notre Dame. That's well documented. It came up in the post-game press conference, you might have heard. But the Irish are now 1-8 dating back to last season in one-possession type games. And we hope for a close game here today. But we spoke with Brian Kelly. To me, Grease, this feels like must win. Now, the head coach of Notre Dame's always on the hot seat.
Yep.
But should they fall at BC, this would be a whole new world of trouble for them, I think.
I think it is a big game for them. Obviously, when you lose a game in that kind of a fashion, 8 of the last 9 games they've lost in one-possession games. And then, you know, the post-game presser didn't go well. He wanted to go back and change that. Certainly, this is a huge game with a quarterback only making his 3rd start, first one on the road.
Again, the Irish will get the Eagles' absolute best. Whether BC has any playmakers on offense is subject to debate. They definitely have one on defense. Here's Todd McShay.
Yeah, Steve, Harold Landry, number 7, defensive end for BC. I think he's one of the best players in all of college football. He led the nation in sacks a year ago, and you watch him versus the run, highly disruptive, and I think he's the best pass rusher that we're going to see all season long. Now, when you watch him versus the run, it's really about disruption. He's so quick off the line of scrimmage. He uses offensive tackles' balance against them. You see the tackles lunging to the outside to try to push him out. He uses his hands, change of direction skills to finish for the tackle for loss. And this is what he does best. As an edge rusher, that wide 9, he dips underneath the tackle. See that body control and the ability to finish. So today, Mike McGlinchey, one of the best offensive tackles in college football, is on the left side. I expect to see Landry working on the opposite side, trying to create some one-on-ones and some big mismatches. And if BC has any chance to drag him into the 4th quarter and pull off this upset, Landry's going to have to be a menace.
Yeah, Todd, you know, Mike McGlinchey gave up that sack at the end of last week, and you know he's going to be motivated to come out and play against one of the best pass rushers in college football. Going to be a great matchup to watch all day.
McGlinchey said he went home after the game with his dad and his uncle and watched the play 100 times and said he was only slightly exaggerating. I don't know why you would do that to yourself, but...
Well, Brian Kelly, when we talked to him, he said that Mike came up to him and said, hey, you know, I want to come out and I want to make a statement that, you know, I have to play better in that moment. And Brian Kelly says, hey, kid, you don't need to do that, but he wanted to do it. I thought it was a great sign of a senior 2-time captain wanting to take ownership and accountability in this new-look Irish team.
Total leadership expressed by McGlinchey. Notre Dame has won the toss. They have deferred. We're going to look at Boston College's offense first. There's BC's head coach, Steve Adazio, in his 5th season. We've got an unbelievably difficult schedule coming up. Tough to play in the ACC these days.
Yeah, well, talk about coming off of tough losses. They lost 34-10 last week to Wake Forest, so not the way that they wanted to start their ACC schedule.
At home, turnovers everywhere you look, and that'll be one of the key points today. Jonathan Dorer will kick it away. Michael Walker is back deep, and Walker brings it out past the 30-yard line. And Boston College will take over on offense with Anthony Brown. He'll make his 3rd collegiate start and try to get some help in the turnover department. Last week, they didn't make plays for him, tipped balls. The turnovers look bad, not all his fault.
Yeah, not all his fault. 2 of them were tipped and intercepted, but Today, the unique challenge is he's lost his center. He will be sandwiched by two freshmen, Steve, the center and the tailback, Dylan.
Handoff to John Hilliman. He's got the ball carrier. So he lost one center in John Baker, who was out for the season. He lost the backup center in Shane Leonard as well.
Yeah, so they're going to start a true freshman, Ben Petrula, who was brought in at BC as a tackle, has never played center before this game.
So on 2nd and 12, Brown takes it with one hand, had to make a one-handed catch on the snap. Here's Hilliman out of the backfield. And he'll get back to the 31-yard line. Niles Morgan comes up to make the stop, probably the first of many for the Irish.
And lost in that game from a week ago for the Irish against Georgia was this defense that played well enough to win, in my opinion. Only gave up 20 points to Georgia. They have a new defensive coordinator, Mike Elko, that's come over from the ACC in Wake Forest, and he has them playing inspired football on the defensive side.
Hilliman has to check out. He lost a shoe. So Davon Jones steps in now. And on 3rd and 9, it's Michael Walker. And they're going to spot him at least a yard short of the first down.
And this is just the details. Walker has to get enough yardage for the first down, especially when you're running an out route, Steve, to the outside of the field. You know once you catch that ball, you're going to go out of bounds, and that's what Anthony Brown probably telling him right now.
Walker is a junior out of Naples, Florida, and that's also what you mean by making plays for your quarterback. Right. Chance to stay on the field, keep the drive going. Another step could have made a big difference. Mike Knoll is back to punt. He leads the ACC in punts. Not average, but in actual punts. So that's not a statistic you want to lead in. Gets it away. Chris Fink will backpedal down to his own 10, and he is clobbered at the Irish 13-yard line. And that's where Notre Dame will take over after the punt of 51 yards. And we'll see Brandon Wimbush, and there's the similarity. 3rd collegiate start for him as well.
Yeah, but last week was a tough spot to start against that SEC style of defense in Georgia. And Brandon Wimbush took his lumps, and he needs to put it behind him. He cannot let the Georgia game beat you twice. But he's got the skill set. Very smart quarterback. You see, he's a major in finance. Wants to go to business school at Notre Dame. He's a very impressive kid, both physically, with his ability to run, as well as mentally.
Has Josh Adams in the backfield. 1st down and 10. Wimbush threw just 5 passes in the last 3 years. Try to shake off some rust the first 2 weeks. Quick screen. Out to Chase Claypool.
And one thing, we talk about Brandon Wimbush, and certainly he's going to continue to improve, but he's going to need more help from his wide receivers. This is a group that we both saw, Brian, not separating, not getting open, not making plays, and it really starts with Equinemius St. Brown, number 6, a 6'5", 203-pound junior. He's got to step up and become their dog, if you will, in the wide receiver corps.
2nd and 9. Good pocket. It collapses. Wimbush will get out of there and scoot forward for a few, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That's a great point, Todd. You know, Georgia defensively is pretty good, and they played a lot of man coverage, and St. Brown definitely struggled. But the other thing that I think they need to do better offensively today is run the football. They only had 55 yards rushing against Georgia, and that's not going to help your quarterback.
3rd and 6. Place gets a little loud.
Pressure look here from Jim Reed on the defensive side for Boston College. 3 linebackers walked up on the line of scrimmage.
Throw against his body and all the way down the field. Excellent coverage on the play. Durham Smythe was the intended target. Cameron Moore made the stop and had the coverage.
I think Notre Dame anticipated that pressure, check to a rollout, move the pocket, give yourself some time. That's Durham Smythe, the big tight end, matched up on Cameron Moore. Cameron Moore's only 5'11", and Smythe's 6'5", but he fights through it. They get a big stop on 3rd down.
Wanted a flag, won't get one. Tyler Newsome is set to punt. He's back in his own 4. Michael Walker at his 35 to receive. No pressure. BC will set for a return. Here's Walker. They'll call for the fair catch. And Boston College will take over in excellent field position after a 34-yard punt. Scoreless early for BC. Back at the Heights, take a look at this historic rivalry matchup brought to you by Wendy's. Only seems like they played every year forever. It really just started in 1975, and it's just the 24th meeting. The Frank Leahy Bowl is up for grabs in this one. On first down and 10, Boston College with great field position, able to connect with Tommy Sweeney. They always want to get the ball to Sweeney. He was targeted 24 times a week ago and made just one catch. He's 1 for 1 today so far.
That's a good start for him. You're going to see this tempo, and you're going to see the tight ends. All three tight ends are going to be a big part of this BC offense today.
2 tight ends are in there now. Here's A.J. Dillon. Here's a player they think really can be explosive, and according to Steve Adazio, he thinks he could be one of the best running backs in the country in a year or 2 from now.
Yeah, he was a coup to get to Chestnut Hill. 6 feet, 240 pounds as a true freshman.
On second down and 4, it's Dillon, and he has the first down. You think about youth, and it's really a baseball line, strength down the middle or up the middle.
Yeah.
But look, they got a freshman center who's never freshman quarterback, freshman tailback.
They better be talented, right?
And in a year or 2, this could be really good. We'll see what they are today. On first down and 10, there's Dillon taking some people on. From nearby New London, Connecticut, he's stopped by Tavon Coney.
Well, what a great opportunity here for Boston College. Early in this first quarter, they get the punt, they get the ball at about midfield, they get a couple of first downs here, and they're running the ball with some success. This is where play action comes into the Scott Leffler style of offense.
Hand off to Dillon. Ball came out. Ball is loose. The Irish say they have it.
That's a great job by that true freshman center we're talking about. Petrula, Ben Petrula, heads up play. This ball comes out very clearly, a fumble, and Petrula just falls on the ball. That's at least a 3-point heads up play there.
Coney made the pop that knocked the football free. Again, Boston College turned it over 4 times last week. Led directly to 21 points for Wake Forest. See if they can take advantage of getting it back on 3rd and 14. Hilleman out of the backfield. He'll get some yardage back to the 20-yard line. Andrew Trombetti made the stop.
Well, and this drive stalls with that jet sweep that went for a negative yardage play. It's been an important part of this BC offense so far this year, but Notre Dame was ready for it, and then the fumble that backed them up. See if they can get 3 points out of it.
Colton Lichtenberg, 4 for 4 on the season. This from 38 to give the Eagles the lead, and he has. Been a bit of a testy week at Notre Dame.
Brian Kelly talks about being demanding but not demeaning to his players.
Yes.
He needs to do the same thing in every aspect of his job now, and I think he's going to learn from that.
Yeah, I think he knows that too. Here's Josh Adams now trying the left side. And they'll push him just over the 30. Max Richardson made the tackle for Boston College.
This is what they need to do. They need to get Josh Adams going. They need to get Dexter Williams, who didn't have a carry in the game last week. He might be their most explosive back. He had 124 yards in week 1 against Temple. They need to get both those guys in the game.
Second down and 4. Here's Adams. He'll go forward for a couple, bring up a 3rd and short. So let me ask you about that. How do you explain that? I mean, I've seen what the comments were, but a guy was so effective in week 1, not even getting a single carry. In fact, his only statistic for Dexter Williams was a tackle on a punt return.
Yeah, you know, I think the thing Brian Kelly said this week is, you know, that was a complicated 3-4 defense, and that's why Dexter didn't play a whole lot.
3rd and 2. It's Adams. He's got the first down. Man, did that open up for Josh Adams. And he's running away from people. And a last chance at the ankle, and they bring him down from behind. Isaac Yiadom made the stop, preventing the touchdown. What a gaping hole by that offensive line. 65 on the rush for Adams.
Yeah, and give some credit to the tight ends as well. Watch this down block right here. That's Durham Smythe. Seals the backside edge, and then Adams breaks one tackle.
On first down and goal, Wimbush going to keep it into the end zone, untouched. Notre Dame on top.
They had 422 yards on the ground in week 1 against Temple. We mentioned last week only 55. If this offense is going to get going under a green quarterback, they're going to need that offensive line, which is the strength of the team coming in, especially on the left side behind McGlinchey and Nelson. They're going to need to do it on the ground today.
Here's Justin Yoon. And Notre Dame opens up a 7-3 lead. Josh Adams accounted for 53 of the 55 rushing yards a week ago. He ripped off 65, leading for the touchdown. Wimbush caps it off with a 2-yard touchdown run, untouched into the end zone. 4 plays, 75 yards, and a $124. And just like that, the Irish take the 7-3 lead. Michael Walker standing back at his goal line. Jonathan Dorr, true freshman, big foot, kick it off from the 35. And it'll go out of bounds. On 1st down and 10. Pass caught. Chris Garrison on the receiving end. And a 1st down.
Great play there to start the drive for BC. They got a little bit of the running game with Hilliman going. And then you have a little bit of the play action. That's one of their top 3 or 4 plays in this offense.
Not much happening there. As Asmar Bilal came up to make the tackle. Junior from Indianapolis.
We talked about this offensive line and the injuries that they've suffered. They lost 4 of their top 6 offensive linemen coming into the season, and they're just trying to piecemeal this thing together.
Hand off to Hilliman, cutting up the middle, dropped at the 40-yard line. Anthony Brown off to a good start, I'd say, Grease.
Yeah.
He's 6 for 6.
Absolutely, a great start. We talk about the challenge of this defensive line for Notre Dame with Jerry Tillery, 6'6", 306 pounds, Bonner, Dalen Hayes. You got some pass rushers on the outside. They're going to be challenged today.
3rd down and 5. Brown not going to be 7 for 7. Looking for Charlie Callanan. And try to scoop it off the turf.
Yeah, and that's the throw. That's the throw. He was open. He had him. Just got to get the ball up. He tries to go down the best that he can. That was closer than I thought. He thought he had it.
Chris Fink for Notre Dame at his 8. A signal for the fair catch. And the Irish will start from their own 10 after a 29-yard perfectly on 1st and 15 after the marker. Wimbush is throwing and could not hook up with Equanimous St. Brown. Cam Moore had the coverage once again on him.
Boy, and St. Brown has been, he's been called out this week, frankly. They're the coaching staff for Notre Dame, Chip Long, their new offensive coordinator. He was locked down last week against Georgia. They expect more from him. And in man coverage right there, Cameron Moore was on him like a glove.
They're still looking for a second receiver to emerge. Who's going to be the number 2 guy? On 2nd and 15, Wimbush trying to emerge. And he is taken down for a big loss. Zach Allen.
Boy, nowhere to go with this ball. Equanimous St. Brown's going to run a little return route. He's going to come in from here, but he's double covered. And he's the only receiver that Wimbush is looking to. See, there's inside, outside, nowhere to go. And then the rush gets to him. You bring up a 3rd and 19. This is Harold Landry territory.
And they will move him around. You see exactly where he is right now. Get him away from McGlinchey.
Surprised they just run it.
Exactly, right on the money. Conservative to Josh Adams. Kevin Bletzer makes the stop. And all of a sudden, in the final minute of this quarter, we got a punt fest going on. A great defense.
Well, outside of the one long run that was given up by BC, they played pretty well defensively. Got to get something on offense going.
That was a 65-yard run by Josh Adams that led to the Notre Dame touchdown. Tyler Newsome is back for his 3rd punt. You see Boston College already punted 3 times as well. 6 in the 1st quarter. And it's Michael Walker. And he fumbles the football forward. And at first look, it looked like that Boston College was able to recover it. Nick Wisher, I think, was able to jump on it.
It's the second time that Boston College has put this ball on the ground early in this game. Very fortunate to get it back.
Nolan Borgerson was the guy who got it. Notre Dame travels well, but wow. So Georgia was given 8,000 tickets at Notre Dame. It really looked like they had 40,000 people there.
Yeah. Brian Kelly wasn't too happy about that either after the game.
You know, the people who were happy, the people who sold their tickets.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly told us that Notre Dame people who sold them paid for their season tickets for years to come. Get a pretty price. We open up quarter number 2 with John Hilliman. He gets out to the 31-yard line. Good chunk on first down. So some confusion on the field now. We understand now that that was an untimed down. So really free football. It's an extra play from the first quarter. You're getting your money's worth here today.
That happened because there was a penalty on the kick.
So they played it down to our left, and now we will flip the field, and they'll bring it back down to the 25-yard line. Handoff, Hilliman, left side, he'll get 1. It's Morgan who made the stop.
Look at the offensive ranks for Boston College. Hasn't been pretty.
Scott Leffler saying, we can't throw 45 times and win. They did throw 42 in that win against Northern Illinois. Here's Brown on the run, throwing and completing to Travis Leahy. No relation. Drew Tranquil made the stop.
It's a good play on 2nd and long. Brings up a manageable situation here on 3rd down.
Well, I mentioned that Northern Illinois game that BC won. Northern Illinois won at Nebraska today.
Yeah. Maybe they're better than we thought.
Handoff, Dillon has the first down. And some momentum here for the Eagles.
Oh, this is what they're excited about with A.J. Dillon. At 240 pounds, he is able to be that sledgehammer in short yardage situations, but he also has the speed to the outside. I just ran over a linebacker, Todd.
Yeah, I've been impressed. He had cutting ability, too, for a young back.
Second effort there. Maybe gets a yard. That ball came out, but you heard it after the whistle.
And you know, with a young back, and Todd knows this, with a young back, the most difficult thing for them is the pass protection and the passing game. So he's going to be in on 1st and 2nd down, but 3rd down, it's just a lot for him to comprehend.
Fumbling and pass protection, the 2 areas just kind of unknown, and he's going to have to work on. He's already fumbled once today. They recovered it, and he just fumbled it after he was down there.
Dillon out, Hilliman in, but it's Brown to throw. And Brown to complete in the end zone. Charlie Callanan, touchdown. And the Eagles go back on top.
That running game gets going, and we mentioned it in that red zone fringe. You want to take a shot down the field off of play action. It's hard play action, and Callanan just runs a post route on the outside. You can see the defensive back looking in the backfield, expecting some kind of a run. That's Julian Love, unable to get there in time.
It's a 22-yard touchdown pass from Anthony Brown to Charlie Callanan. Prior to this, Callanan had 4 career touchdowns, including an earlier one against the Irish. He's got Boston College on top here in the second quarter. You just saw Boston College with their worst starting field position have their best drive of the day. They started their own 15 and went 85 yards for the score and have a 10-7 lead against Notre Dame. The Irish really struggling on offense here today. We're talking about Scott Leffler, the offensive coordinator. And, you know, I've got these boards here and all this great information. As you know, Grease, I can't find anything when I need it. I was able, however, to find one thing talking about Scott Leffler, the offensive coordinator, and there it is, the highlighted there.
The setup, but that's what this is, the setup.
Tutored Tom Brady, Tim Tebow, and Brian Griese.
If you asked him, he would say he's most proud of tutoring me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. He doesn't want to take credit for Brady. Adams is over 100 yards. And that Wimbush throw just too high for St. Brown. If he could have come down with that one, that would have been a tremendous catch.
You know, just to finish up on Scott Leffler, we came into Michigan together. We were adversaries.
What do you mean?
He was a scholarship quarterback and I was the walk-on, so we hated each other. And then he got hurt. Unfortunately, he was going to be a great player, hurt his shoulder, and couldn't come back from it, and we became the best of buds.
Right up the middle, it's Adams again, ripping off another big one. Will they catch him from behind? They will. Isaac Yiadom able to make the tackle. If not for Yiadom, that's 6 more. Adams had a gain of 65 the last time. That's also 65.
Yeah, just big gaping hole up front. Ray Smith, the defensive tackle, got washed down. And Yiadom definitely saved the touchdown, gave his defense a place to stand.
On 1st and 10. Here's Wimbush. He's got a first down. Well, that's the secret to their offense. Get a 65-yard run by Adams. You're in business.
Yep, they need to slow it down right here. Make sure they get 7 points and not 3. Adams comes to the sideline. Tony Jones comes in. Still haven't seen Dexter Green.
And the flags go.
False start. Number 71. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The numbers on Adams are eye-popping. 9 carries for 167 yards. Averaging better than 18.5 yards per carry.
What's interesting is they've been running that ball so successfully, and it hasn't necessarily been behind McGlinchey and Nelson, the 2 best players up front, a left tackle and left guard.
6 penalties in the game so far, all false starts. Tony Jones to the right of Wimbush. To throw. All sorts of time. And then too strong for St. Brown. 2nd and goal.
Well, you get down here running the football, and then you get a penalty, 1st and goal from the 11, and doesn't necessarily mean you have to throw the ball in that situation. And Brandon Wimbush has been much more comfortable running the ball in this game than he has been throwing it. But now you got to throw it. 2nd goal.
Or do you? Here's Wimbush up the middle. And he is banged down, and they score the touchdown. Hit at the goal line, falls forward for the score. And the Irish back on top.
I stand corrected. You don't have to throw 2nd and 11. Just runs the quarterback power. Was that knee down before the ball crossed the goal line? I think they're going to take a look at this, obviously, as a scoring play.
If it stands, it's Wimbush's 2nd touchdown today.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. The knee's down and the ball has not crossed the plane. Remember, it's the front plane of that goal line, the white stripe.
Not the knee.
After review, the runner was down with the ball at the 1/2 yard line. It will be 3rd down at that spot. The clock is correct, and we'll start on my signal.
And the clock is correct. 3rd and goal. Inside the 1.
Josh Adams going to come back in the game. One thing about Josh Adams, you know, he's a big guy, 225 pounds, but he is tall, right? And tall running backs really have to work to get low, especially in goal line situations like this, and decrease their pad level.
6'2". Brock Wright, extra tight end, is checked in. Wimbush. They'll sort it out and look for it. No signals, no indication. Not yet. Yes, there's the indication of the signal for a touchdown.
I think that's a smart call by Chip Long, not to turn around and give it to your back, but just give it to Wimbush. He's 230 pounds himself, and he follows right behind Nelson. There's McGlinchey in there. Probably your best bet, short yardage with those guys up front. Big drive.
They had to pick guys out of the pile to see where the football was, and it had crossed the plane. Here's Yoon, son of an Olympic figure skater, on the extra point, and it's good. That's going to do it. Notre Dame by 4. We'll hear from Brian Kelly, but first, a halftime report with Adnan. We got ourselves a ball game. 14-10. Notre Dame leading the Irish thanks to outstanding rushing by Josh Adams, over 160 yards in that first half, Grease.
Yeah, and really the offensive line, tight ends up front on 2 particular runs. Created the crease, the same run both times. And he gets to the second level. You see Bars, the right guard, right tackle, both getting great blocks. And that's been the offense, really, for Notre Dame in the first half. The 2 touchdowns that they scored came directly after these long runs.
Wimbush running both of those in after 2 65-yard runs by Josh Adams. Notre Dame will get the kickoff here to start the second half. And they'll start out at the 25. Steve Levy along with Brian Greasy. We'll see Todd McShay shortly. And at this point, normally I ask you what we're looking forward to in the second half. But I hated those last 2 drives of the first half. No urgency by Notre Dame at all, with plenty of time, plenty of timeouts. And then BC, after the turnover, they went to the locker room with 2 timeouts in their pocket.
I think what you saw was 2 coaches trying to manage their young quarterbacks, right? To not make that big mistake before halftime. Steve Adazio talked about it, and so did Brian Kelly. I think you're going to see more of it in the second half. When you have a young quarterback, sometimes you just keep them from making the big mistake.
Okay, now what are you looking forward to in the second half? That's our regular scheduled program. Handoff to Josh Adams. Why not feed him again? A monster first half, 9 carries, 167 yards on the ground.
I think what we're looking forward to is a 4-quarter game, partner. I mean, that's the way this thing's going to come down. Who runs the ball? Which quarterback doesn't make the big error? And then these 2 defenses played pretty well in the first half.
And that's really what Boston College was looking forward to. Be in this game in the 4th quarter. And they're certainly in it to start the 3rd. Ty Schwab forcing Wimbush out.
Well, you got to think the pressure's on Notre Dame, right? You know, they lost last week, and they're the favorite coming in. Brian Kelly has a more talented team, quite frankly, than does Boston College. And so the pressure in the second half, can they manage that? They manage those expectations.
Notre Dame 2 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Here's 3rd and 3. Wimbush able to get it out across to Alize Mack. Has the first down.
I really think Mack needs to be a bigger part of this offense. He's their X factor. He's got the mobility at the tight end position. He can line up as a receiver, good receiver of the football.
Ball is out. Boston College says they have it, and they do.
When you talk about managing situations as a young quarterback, and between Josh Adams and Brandon Wimbush, they've got to make each other right. And this is Brandon Wimbush trying to read the defense as to whether to give it to Adams or pull it. Looks like he tried to pull it at the last minute, and you can't try to do too much. When you get pressured like that, the mistakes happen, and that just can't happen.
2 turnovers in the game, both to the Irish. Boston College got that first turnover prior to the half, weren't able to do anything with it. See what they do here. On the ground, and Hilliman, he's breaking tackles. He has first down yardage.
Well, John Hilliman has been a difference maker in this game. He had a big fumble a week ago in the loss to Wake Forest and got replaced by A.J. Dillon, but he has been the workhorse.
He's over 100 yards on the afternoon. Takes a shot from Niles Morgan that time. It's like a loss on the play.
You know, sometimes you bring in a heralded true freshman, as A.J. Dillon is, and They start talking about him, and the guy that's here, the incumbent, and John Hilliman, he's going to respond one of two ways: either rise up or fade away, and he's rising up today.
Quick screen out to Travis Leahy. He's taking some people on, like Morgan and Julian Love. Still not down to the original yard marker. Bring up a 3rd down and long.
And this is, we talk about, people don't like to hear this. We talk about managing the quarterback. All right, this is a management situation for the play call to keep field goal in the equation without a turnover.
Round rolling to his right, throwing across his body, and back trying to set up the screen. Nothing doing. Hilliman wasn't fooling anyone. Drew Tranquil was there. Tranquil, one of the great stories for Notre Dame. Guy who's battled back from 2 ACL injuries. He's able to make the big stop there, bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, Drew Tranquil is a leader on this defense. A walk-on, had to earn his way onto this football team. Very smart, instinctive player, and he sniffed that out. No problem.
Here's Colton Lichtenberg. Will attempt from 41 yards away. And he blasts that one through. 6 for 6 now on the season.
That's a great start for Lichtenberg. Obviously, they didn't know about their kicker coming in. They were very concerned. And to start 6 for 6 is impressive.
1-point game, also a 1-possession game. 1-point game here in the 3rd quarter. And the Irish will get the football back. And it is way out of the end zone. Almost took out a cameraman down there. Down it. Wimbush on the move. Unable to really turn the corner with any authority there.
Great play by Kevin Bletzer. Now he's the linebacker that is replacing the injured Connor Strahan. Now, he led Boston College in tackles a year ago, Strahan did, and Bletzer's been called into duty. They are very thin at the linebacker position. Steve Adazio says we don't quite have another outside linebacker, so if we get another injury, we'd be in real trouble.
And they're trying to manage their way and just keep the season together through this schedule, try to get a little bit healthier. As Adams is the ball carrier, we're about a yard shy of the 1st down.
Yeah, we mentioned the guys on offense, on the offensive line that were out. You see those. But then defensively, you see Strahan out as well.
3rd down and 1. It's Adams, and he has it. It's not 65, but it's enough. 1st down, they'll move the chains. Back to Strahan, though. He's so valuable, they think his loss might be even hurt them more than the center Baker. Yep. That's how valuable, plus the depth of the position. Here's Wimbush taking a shot down the middle of the field and could not hook up with Chris Fink. 3 BC defenders in the neighborhood.
One of the most surprising things to me about this Notre Dame offense so far this year, and it happened last week as well. We all thought Equanimeous St. Brown would be the go-to guy in the offense. Well, last week in crunch time, it was Fink. Now it's crunch time again, and Equanimeous St. Brown's not even on the field, and they're throwing the ball to Fink. That's not what you thought coming in this season.
No question. Quick throw. And a quick stick. Fink able to hang on. Lucas Dennis was there, now saying no catch. Dennis got there so quickly, able to knock it away. Dennis had an interception earlier in the game. And that'll bring a big 3rd and 10.
It's the biggest weakness on Notre Dame's team so far this year is they don't even have one reliable receiver. St. Brown's got to make plays. Another pressure look by BC. 3 of these linebackers right up, forcing the hand of Brandon Wimbush, trying to confuse him. Georgia did it last week.
Here they come. Wimbush gets out of there. Able to make a move. He's got the 1st down. He's got the sideline as well. Brandon Wimbush cuts it back inside, and he's finally dropped inside the 10-yard line.
Take a look at this from the backside. You see all these guys in here. They're going to rush, and there's going to be a huge lane to the outside. You just can't lose that kind of contain on a player with the speed of Brandon Wimbush.
46 yards there. Big time play for the young quarterback, Wimbush. That's Adams back at it. Down to about the 5. There's an injured player down. They'll stop the clock. 2nd and goal.
And you have young quarterbacks that they're struggling to throw the ball with any consistency. Brandon's 9 of 20 for 57 yards so far in this game. And you give them a run lane like that, and they've got the athleticism, they can make you pay.
2nd down and goal from the BC 6. Irish looking to add to their lead. Play fake. Throw. And caught. Able to hook up with Mack, who they sent in motion. And to bring up a 3rd down and goal.
That was a nice play by Lucas Dennis, the safety, number 21. Didn't lose his eye discipline, stayed with his primary receiver, and forces a 3rd down try.
Fine catch by Mack. 3rd down and goal. Handoff up the middle. It's Tony Jones for the touchdown.
It's an impressive response from Notre Dame. First drive out, halftime, they fumble the football and give a short field to Boston College. They settle it down on the sideline. Brandon Wimbush makes a big play with his legs, and they are set here to potentially go up 8. Maybe going to go for 2.
Maybe 9.
Or maybe 8.
This looks like fun. Hey, you better get something here.
Yeah.
Here's Yoon for just your basic extra point. And in the end, after all the conversation, it is an 8-point lead for Notre Dame. Brandon Wimbush, he didn't finish this one, but he got him down by the goal line. You know Tess is watching this game on the app right now. Here's Michael Walker from the 5, looking to bring it out. And a good return out to about the 24-yard line. Are you going to let UCLA off the hook because of the whole time difference and the 9 a.m. local start in their body clock? You're going to allow that to be the excuse? That pass is batted away. Excellent defense on Kobe White by Julian Love.
I don't know that that's such a huge surprise. I mean, yes, they had an unbelievable rebound in the second half against A&M, but that first half happened too. So
that's fair. 2nd down and 10. Give it to Dillon. Slices forward for 2. And they'll bring up a 3rd down.
Notre Dame defense is stiffened here in the second half. They had a sudden change situation where they got the stop they needed, forced a field goal attempt, and they've bottled up the run game for BC for the most part here in the second half. Give credit to Mike Elko, their new defensive coordinator, and the guys up front, the front 7.
Both defenses have been outstanding today. Here's Brown throwing deep. And did he catch it? No! Taken away! Intercepted by Sean Crawford. He went up the battle with Kobe White, and Crawford's going to win that fight.
After the interception, unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench. Notre Dame, 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Oh, yeah, it's going to stand okay.
I was standing just a few yards away, and the receiver, Kobe White, I should say, had the ball. It was falling down the ground. It just kind of bounced out of his hands, and the defensive back was able to take advantage of it with the interception. You know, he did a great job adjusting to the ball, too. He did everything right. It's just kind of popped out of his hands right at the last second.
Well, and give credit to Crawford, too, Todd. Played that perfectly by looking back for the football. We see so many of these young defensive backs that don't look back for the football, and he can't make that play if you don't look back.
Crawford, a junior out of Lakewood, Ohio, missed 10 games last year with an Achilles injury. Makes the big play. They turn over Boston College for the first time today. Up 8 with the lead and the ball, and Josh Adams again running away from people. And he knew he'd be brought down from behind, 2 hands on the football. Dennis got to him, but not until it was a huge gain.
Boy, he shows Adams does. He shows some quick feet in the secondary. That's the second time today that he has shown that he's a nimble in open field at 230 pounds.
When I say huge, I mean like 36 yards. Here's a throw from Wimbush. Able to complete Durham Smythe.
This is what Chip Long wanted to do, wanted to accomplish. Run the ball. We heard Coach Kelly say it at halftime. Run the ball, and that will open up opportunities to take shots down the field. And Smythe, excellent route, puts him inside the 5.
Gain of 36, then they back that up with a gain of 33. Landry checks in on 1st and goal.
He's going to check out.
Wyatt Ray, he's got a lot of the same qualities, they say. He's in there for Landry on 1st down and goal. Hand off to Adams. And the BC defense stiffens there. 2nd and goal upcoming.
This is where Brandon Wimbush's wheels help you. Get him on the edge, on the perimeter. That last touchdown they scored, it was his 11-yard run that got him down to the 1-yard line.
Here's Wimbush rolling to his right. He's got some green in front of him. Picked up a block and scores. 3rd rushing touchdown of the afternoon for Brandon Wimbush. And he made that one look easy.
Great read by Wimbush. He wanted to throw this ball. They took the tight end away. The receiver in the back of the end zone was away, and there come the wheels. He's got speed. You know, he's one of the more explosive players on the offense, and there's nowhere to throw that football. Nice job getting to the pylon.
Extra point is on the way and through. As for Wimbush, he's the first Notre Dame quarterback to run for 3 touchdowns since Everett Golston did it against Navy 3 years ago. 28-13, the Irish lead.
And in the short
2:38 left in the 3rd.
Yeah, Steve, in the short term, that's going to need to be a part of his recipe for success, right? His feet are going to need to be a big part of his game, and that will open up some of the throws down the field. He had a beautiful throw to Smythe on that drive on a corner route to the tight end. He's got the arm. He's smart enough. He just needs to continue to get experience, and I think he's going to be a great player for Notre Dame for a long time.
Wimbush 11 of 22 passing for just 96 yards today through the 1 interception. BC unable to do anything with that turnover. Here's Michael Walker, who's been impressive today. Walker out to the 36-yard line.
Well, we know their history, right, in 1-score games. So that last touchdown to go up by 15 was huge.
Brian Kelly would love to not have to answer that question post-game here today. Out to about midfield is Hilleman.
You know, I think, you know, Brian Kelly, we talked with him for a while yesterday, and, you know, I had my sensor up. Was he, you know, honest and truthful? And I felt like he was. I think this is genuine. See this incomplete pass here on 2nd down. I think it was genuine. What he went through in the offseason. He said he met with every single player, asked them what they felt went wrong last year in the 4-8 season. He did a blind questionnaire so that guys wouldn't feel uncomfortable really saying what they meant, what they felt. And I felt like we talked with Mike McGlinchey, and he was honest with him. Drew Tranquil, we talked with him, and he took it to heart, and he said, if we're going to change, it has to start with me. And so far, I think he's being genuine and honest when he says that they have done it.
Here's 3rd and 6. Brown trying to get out of there. Got across to midfield. Will not get it up for the 1st down. Andrew Trombetti made the tackle. And he also said that we're like a big business, right? When your business is not successful, you have high standards, you look at the top and you make changes. And Todd, he took it on himself.
Yeah, he did. And you know what? I've probably done 10 Notre Dame games in the last 4 years and met with them just like we did for all of those games. This team feels different. It felt different with the meetings. The players were open. It seems like there's just a different vibe with the Notre Dame football team. And obviously, they're coming off the loss, but they still have so much confidence in what they're doing and the adjustments that they made.
Mike Knowles punt lands at the 16, takes a bounce. Chris Fink. First down and 10. Final 40 seconds of this third quarter. It's Josh Adams, the ball carrier. And talking about our meetings with Mike McGlinchey, this was my favorite part of all the meetings. So we told you McGlinchey went back and looked at the mistake he made in the last play of the game against Georgia. And he said his family was off to Atlanta, well, just to go see the Falcons play, and kind of casually mentioned, you know, I got a cousin on the Falcons. And you would have thought it was the guy on the practice squad of the Atlanta Falcons. And McShay, ever the reporter, says, well, who is your cousin? Matty Ice? You familiar with Matt Ryan? So, but you know, most college kids, I think they would have been proud and thrown it out there. You know, hey, my cousin is Matt Ryan. And I love that McGlinchey never mentioned that.
Yeah. Very humble guy. Look at there they are. McGlinchey.
McGlinchey got a big kick out of being here on campus, because everywhere you look, it's all Matt Ryan all the time. We'll be right back. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by PlayStation View. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Todd McShay as we open up quarter number 4. And with a big play is Dexter Williams. His first carry of the day. You've been waiting to see him, and there he is.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was hurt or if he was in the doghouse or what. He didn't have any carries last week against Georgia, and I felt like that was because of some of the 3-4 pressures, complicated defense of Kirby Smart. But he is an explosive player from the tailback position.
Give Williams a taste, and then get him right out of there after the gain of 14. Wimbush fakes to the right, and he'll travel left and hop ahead for 3. Look at the yardage total.
Pretty evenly matched through the first half. It was a close game, and then in this quarter we talked about Notre Dame defensively really clamping down on the running game of Boston College, and they have found ways to continue to get Adams and Wimbush free in the run game.
Last couple of drives by the Irish, 70 and 75 yards, dominating that third quarter. That pass just airmailed for Equanimous St. Brown. Hey, Boston College wanted to be in this game in the fourth quarter, and at this point they still are. But they need to make something happen here. This is a big defensive stop, I would think, for the Eagles.
They need a defensive stop, and then Steve Adazio needs that special teams play. He said we need some turnovers and we need some plays on special teams. He's gotten 1 turnover, but he hadn't got anything done on special teams. Waiting
for Landry to make his mark in this game. 3rd and 7. The Irish 7 of 14 on third down conversions.
If you're not going to have a tight end lined up here, you better throw that ball quick or have a screen.
2 on the play clock. They get it away. Wimbush will turn the corner and keep it. Oh, he's got the first down, and he's got the whole middle of the field. Here's Brandon Wimbush thinking about a 4th rushing touchdown of the day, and he's got it. Brandon Wimbush, 4th rushing touchdown to blow this one open.
We talked about Chip Long, right? Running at Harold Landry, running away from Harold Landry. This time, for the first time we've seen, he options Harold Landry. Landry's sitting right here. He's thinking, I'm going to rush up the field and rush the passer and get a sack. And in a heartbeat, now he has to play 2 guys, and he misjudges the speed of Brandon Wimbush, and he goes right around him. Great play design there by Chip Long.
That's a 65-yard rushing touchdown by the quarterback. Wimbush, 19 carries, 170 yards on the ground, and 4 scores. And the extra point is through. Make it 35-13. The Irish. Again, all the talk of those 1 possession or 1-point games for Notre Dame. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case here today. Now it's time for the Aflac trivia question. Aflac! Who coined the phrase, when the going gets tough, let the tough get going?
Ooh, oh, who coined the phrase? Well, I'm hearing the Notre Dame-BC rivalry. Leahy? Frank Leahy? Ara Parseghian?
Well, I was thinking it was Ara, who passed away last month. We'll get to that. Of course, Meet Rockney. He's pretty good speeches, too. Ben points out it was not John Belushi from Animal House. We'll get to the answer shortly, but many of you probably going through your head, hey, you know, when was the last time a Notre Dame quarterback had this kind of rushing day?
Wow.
How about never?
Most by a quarterback in school history.
You know, and when you break a Notre Dame record,
you know Tony Rice. I mean, I figured Tony Rice in.
That's a record, right?
Wow.
That's like you're breaking a Yankees record. Packers. When you break a Notre Dame football record, man, you've done something. All right, let's see what Boston College can do here. Down 22 on first down. Here's Kobe White. He's got first down yardage. Going to answer the Aflac trivia question after this play, of course. What do you think? I was going to answer it right there? No. Let you think about it.
I'm done thinking.
I think we might have gotten it. I think I nailed it. Here's Jeff Smith down the sideline. So when the going gets tough, let the tough get going, and the answer is Frank Leahy. Of course, they're playing for the Frank Leahy Trophy. A college football Hall of Famer.
Yeah, great coach.
There you see on the front of the helmets, that's for Ara Parsegian. Look for a completion and bent over backwards. That looked nasty.
Thankfully, he pops up there, but
Jake Burt.
Yeah, that's
bending back the wrong way.
That's why they've outlawed the horse collar tackle for that reason right there. That was a clean tackle, but that's what happens when you pull down from the back.
2nd and 5. Here's Dillon. It'll slide through, and he does have first down yardage. Boston College on the move here, trying to make some noise. Again, down 22. With 12 to play here in the 4th. Eagles have all 3 timeouts. Thrown as he was hit. Jeff Smith was the intended target, but Brown couldn't unload the way he wanted to as he was being belted as he released.
And you had Notre Dame on top of that, right? And it's tough. This is a tough job for anybody at BC when you're playing those kind of teams. And then you have the admission standards that they have. It's not easy to get kids into school here. It's a challenge
in a very tough market. It is a pro sports town. Yes. As much as any city in the country.
Well, and the facilities don't compare. Okay, the facilities at Boston College don't compare. So now they're building an indoor building, which is going to help them, but they're not anywhere near competing with the Clemsons and the Florida States of the world. So this is not the Big East anymore.
No, it's not. Like, hey, come on into the ACC. We'd love to have you for a while here. Schedule is horrendous. They're on the wrong side of the ACC. Yes. When you look at the scheduling. It's A.J. Dillon. First down, pick up 10 on that. But again, it's not just being a pro sports town. It's the success of the professional teams the last 15 years or so. It's Dillon again for a few. I mean, BC football, they had their day. They had a time when the Eagles were a big deal. The Notre Dame game especially was a huge deal in these parts. Dan Shaughnessy wrote a column in the Boston Globe this week about that very topic.
They've got some pieces to build around. I mean, I think Anthony Brown is going to be a solid quarterback. A.J. Dillon at the tailback spot. Make that play. Got to make that play for Jeff Smith, Jr. He's the leader at the wide receiver position. He's got the most experience, and you got to bring that in.
He dropped a touchdown last week, and coaching staff said, hey, he needs to be better. Third down and goal. Smith has just one catch on the day. Brown looked like he got hooked up with Chris Lindstrom, the right guard. And if that would have happened in the first series, we would have said, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
New center. Lindstrom's trying to help out Petrua. But as his game has gone on, that has not been a problem. That has not been Boston College's problem, the offensive line today, which we thought it was going to be.
Yep.
4th and goal. After the first Notre Dame sack, that goes down as a sack. Round to throw, got a man, and he's got a touchdown. It's Callanan, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. That's a beautiful ball, and a great grab by Callanan. They'll take another look to see if he held possession the entire way.
Boy, and what a game Callanan's had. That's his 7th catch now. You mentioned his 2nd touchdown. Looks like he came down inbounds. And he has to control that ball all the way to the ground. It comes out late. That official looking right at it, the side judge. Remember, for this to be a catch, inbounds, and he's got to control it to the ground. And then a late strip there. I think that's a good catch.
The extra point is up and good. Don't go anywhere. Not a 1-score, 1-possession game. It's a 2-score, 2-possession game. Plenty of time, plenty of timeouts here at Boston College. So here we go. 35-20. 9:02 to play here in the 4th quarter. Sold out Alumni Stadium. And C.J. Sanders thought about it. He'll take a knee. See what's going on here. Dexter Williams gets another carry. He's pushed out of bounds. I think Notre Dame would like to run some time off the clock here.
Yeah, well, we wondered which Notre Dame running game was going to show up today. The one that had 422 yards in week 1 against Temple, or the one that had 55 last week against Georgia. And Brian Kelly has found that week 1 magic. And it's been a combination of Adams and Winbush. Managing the situation, you know, for his young quarterback, first time on the road, and he's had a historic day.
418 rushing yards here today. And the big part of the 35 points by the Irish. Here's Winbush rolling and throwing. And St. Brown could not hang on to that one as he was sliding across the turf. Put new turf in here at Alumni Stadium. And every time I say the name of the stadium, Matt Hasselbeck has a terrible joke. He said, Steve, you know, they named the stadium after me the day after I left Boston College. I'm like, wait a second, what? I don't get it. Like 3 times he had to tell me, oh, it's Alumni Stadium.
You see Chip Long, he's not happy on the sideline. He knows, yeah, they've run the ball really well, but they have not been able to throw the ball with any kind of consistency in this game. And they're going to need to get better in that area.
3rd and 6. Very close is Winbush. Got to kick the football.
Yeah. Well, BC defensively, they did what they needed to do. They went down, they got a touchdown, they made this a 2-score game, and Matt Hasselbeck says maybe there's a chance.
Sporting the wheels up hat. Michael Walker, who's been excellent today on the returns for Boston College. Tyler Newsome back to punt from his 22. And wearing his leg out. This is his 6th punt. Walker lets it bounce, and that takes an Irish bounce in a big way. The Eagles will be backed up to their own 9-yard line. It's a gain of 57 on the punt. Both punters have been excellent today.
That was big time right there.
BC starts at the 9, their worst field position of the day. Well documented. They've had great starting field position. Really haven't been able to take advantage of that. And that passes through the hands of the intended target.
This is where Anthony Brown, you just need to get that first down. You know, you can't get all of this in one play, but that first down to get out of the shadow of your own end zone is the most important one. We got a lot of confusion, a lot of moving parts going right now on the offensive side.
Brown steps up and throws and completes to White. It's a crazy college football season. Oh, big smackdown at the 33. They'll say the pass was incomplete. Tommy Sweeney paid the price. Niles Morgan put a good lick on him.
Boy, this is a dangerous hit here. Sweeney, you know, he's tied up with one defender, and then it gets hit in the back. Gosh, that's as hard a hit as you're going to see.
First glance, I saw a shoulder making the initial contact to the back.
Glad to see him get up.
Off the draw, Brown hands to Hilleman. He struck from behind, and Notre Dame has it. It's Sean Crawford, who earlier had an interception, now makes the fumble recovery.
Great job by Julian Okwara, number 42. He's coming back. Leahy never sees him, and you got to secure the football. But Okwara makes a big play for Notre Dame.
Another turnover for Boston College. Killed them last week, hurting them today. Back at Boston College, and Notre Dame looking to put this one away. Wimbush, who already has 4 rushing touchdowns. Do I hear 5? Won't get there. Hit the pylon. Well, before he got to the pylon.
We knew about his ability to throw the football, and today it looked like his left foot dragged out of bounds, but today has been about the wheels.
First down and goal. And right up the middle, it's Dexter Williams with the score.
You know, Notre Dame's got, they've got a choice to make here. You know, Chip Long, we just saw him frustrated on the sideline because they haven't been able to throw the football, but this kid can run the ball as good as any quarterback we've seen outside of Lamar Jackson.
And the extra point is good. And Notre Dame opens up their lead, 42-20. Brandon Wimbush now running 21 carries, 207 rushing yards. And this is just his 3rd collegiate start.
Yep.
There's not a lot of tape on him, big-time tape on him. Defensive coordinators will see this, and that will get an awful lot of attention from fans and opposing players. I can't wait for Brandon Wimbush to get another crack with the football. Very nearly had and maybe should have had his foot was out of bounds, a 5th rushing touchdown. Impressive. Some good contact there by Julian Love. Gave him some extra love. That led to the incompletion on Travis Leahy.
You know, we've seen it. That was a good hit out here. That's the back-to-back big hits by Sean Crawford, Julian Love. What I'm excited to see, we've seen Brandon Wimbush be great tonight, but the other player is Lamar Jackson tonight against Clemson.
Poorly thrown ball. And the easiest interception you will ever see. Sean Crawford, part of 3 turnovers personally for the Notre Dame defense today. Anthony Brown's worst throw of the day. Notre Dame has really turned up the heat here in the second half. They lead by 22. The wind has picked up, but that played no role in Boston College's 3 turnovers in the last 5 possessions. And any thoughts and hopes of seeing Brandon Wimbush rush for a 5th touchdown today? They've been erased. Ian Book is a quarterback, and he comes out firing. Did not expect that. Too high for Nick Wisher, the tight end.
Take a look at this dynamic duo tonight, over 430 yards combined, and that's kind of what they did to Temple in week 1. It's a pretty dynamic combination, but as you know, the schedule gets tougher for Notre Dame. They go on the road next week, Michigan State. I think they can win with this kind of a recipe, but they're going to have to throw the football, I think, with USC, Stanford, Miami on the schedule later in the year.
And I think the offensive line is top tier. I think we saw today that they can run behind the right side of their offensive line just as well as they can the left side, which is a surprise. Now, the pass protection is not the same, but ultimately, I agree with you, Grease. It's the one missing element, and maybe we're going to start to see a little bit more of the quarterback run and a little bit more diversity with the run game to supplement what they're really not able to do in the passing game as they continue to look for receivers that can separate and get more consistent accuracy out of their quarterback in Wimbush.
Hand it off to Dexter Williams. He's still running hard. He's got first down yardage.
And I think the defense is good. I don't think it's great, but I think the defense is good. They confused Jake Fromm a week ago, and then they came in and did a little bit of the same here to Brown tonight. But they have to be better offensively, in my opinion, throwing that ball.
Here's Book throwing for the end zone. Looking for Miles Boykin.
We talked about it earlier, but the culture feels different in a really positive way. And I think Coach Kelly backing away from the offense a little bit and being more involved in the special teams and more involved in the defensive side. The players appreciate it because it's not just offensive focused. And there's a lot more confidence in their head coach and that he's overseeing the program. And he, in turn, is allowing his coaches to coach.
And this game is not a laugher, but it will serve as a breather. Dexter Williams to the house, touchdown. And this is exactly what Brian Kelly and Notre Dame needed after the 1-point loss a week ago at home against mighty Georgia.
Yeah, well, and people forget this was a close game. It was a tight game at halftime, and now it's been completely broken open. And certainly, yes, Brian Kelly needed a definitive, demonstrative win, and he's going to get it. And a little bit of breathing room, as you said, and, you know, Michigan State coming up, Miami, Ohio, but then the heart of that schedule comes starting with USC.
But after this one, Kelly can say anything he wants because everything is funny after a win. Not so funny after a loss. Now, I'm sure he'll be on his best behavior.
What does Coach Corso say? When you lose, say little. When you win, say less.
Stay humble. Although this one has been over for some time.
Yep, and Notre Dame took care of business. Came on the road. You got to pack your running game when you go on the road, especially in a game like this with an emotional team in Boston College who's trying to make a statement. And as soon as the second half kickoff really went, Notre Dame took control of this game. And let's see if they get a couple more weeks here where they can get this season back on track before they've got a bye week, and then they play USC.
I think I can hear the McShay fan club as the place has emptied out just a bit. And that should do it. That should be the final play of the game. Notre Dame has now beaten Boston College 6 consecutive times. That ties the longest such streak in this series by one team. Prior to Notre Dame winning 6 in a row against BC, the Eagles had won 6 straight against the Fighting Irish. Once again, our final score, Notre Dame 49, Boston College 20. For Brian Greasy and Todd McShay, Josh Hoffman, Mike Schwab, I'm Steve Leahy. Thanks for watching, everyone.